What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another Mlb Power Rankings video. We're just gonna jump into it. Thanks for 300 subs, everyone. I haven't been able to do anything really. 302 now, I think 301. I am filming this currently on Sunday. This might come out Monday, maybe Tuesday. I don't know. We're just gonna jump right into it. And at number 30, I'm gonna keep him there just for another week. Got the Los Angeles Angels. Started off the week 2-1 against the White Sox. Good rebound after getting swept last week by them. But then they followed up by getting destroyed by the Blue Jays, 1-2. Big blowout yesterday, 14-1 after a pretty close game. Up until it very much was. Next up, number 29. You see it, San Francisco Giants. So they went 1-2 against the Padres, and then they beat the Pirates over this weekend. So at least that's good for them. Number 28, we have the New York Mets. 2-1 against Colorado, and then they went 1-2 over the weekend against the Diamondbacks, who were struggling, and you could have got, you got the Rockies. You should beat the Rockies, although they didn't earlier in the month. But they rebounded, beat the Rockies, and they play the Tigers this weekend, and I think maybe the Braves, so that's not a great week for them. Next up, we got those Rockies. 1-2 against the Mets, 1-2 against the Phillies. Rockies coming back down to earth. They're not going to break any records this year. I wouldn't be shocked if they won over 65 games. I would be shocked. I would be shocked if they won more than 65. I would be shocked if they won more than 65. I would be insanely shocked if they won 70. Heck no, they're not winning 70 games. Next up, number 26, we got the Houston Astros. So the Astros, I kind of forgot what they did this week. I forget who they played. Yeah, I don't remember who they played. I'm pretty sure they might have... Oh, yeah. They went 1-2 against the Dodgers. And I forget who they played this weekend. Who'd they play today? Was it an American League team or National League team? I forget. Oh, they went 1-2 against the Reds. That's who it is. I thought it was the Red Sox for a second, but I realized they played them already this year twice. Not the Red Sox. Wrapping up the bottom row, we got the Minnesota Twins. Twins, 2-1 against the Guardians this weekend. That's decent. Beginning of the week. I forget again. Sorry. I think they played against... It might have been the Royals or it might have been the Reds. No, it wasn't the Red Sox. I know that. It wasn't... I'm just trying to figure out who they played. It wasn't any of those. It'll come to my mind, I think, but... Oh, they went 1-2 against Washington Nationals. I always forget because they got destroyed that one game against the Nats. Next up, making their way out of the bottom row. Most people, this team, the Chicago White Sox, were staple in the bottom row for 3 years. They finally came out of the bottom row here. So they start off the week rough, 1-2 against the Angels. I was like, maybe they're still a bottom row team. I kind of thought they were still a bottom 3 team in the league. But, then they went out, got kind of crushed the first game against the Mariners. And then they won the series. Close 1-2 game today. Mariners had bases loaded in the 9th inning with no out. Didn't do anything. So, yeah, White Sox. Maybe division this year. Division title, maybe playoffs. Unlikely, though. Next up, we got the Washington Nationals. The Nationals went 2-1 against the Twins, and then they went 1-2 against Miami over the weekend. We'll get to Miami in a bit. But, yeah. Next up, we got the Baltimore Orioles at number 22. Orioles, 0-1 against the Yankees. 2-1 against Miami, and then 1-2 against the A's. 3-4 week. Yankees again, I think tomorrow, Monday, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and they play Washington at the end of the week. So, not too bad of a week for the Orioles, but they need to get 4-2, 5-1 weeks if they want. Good thing for them, the American League is terrible, so they're only the game out of the playoffs. Thank God. Next, we got the Kansas City Royals. The Royals, man. 2-0 so far against Detroit. Sunday nighter. They're losing 6-3 in the 9th inning. Probably 2-1 against Detroit. I'm gonna put them there for now, but maybe it'll change. I don't know. But yeah, they went so far 2-0, probably 2-1 against Detroit. And beginning of the week, I'm sorry, I forget again. It'll come to me, but yeah. But the Royals just okay right now. Nothing special going on with the Royals. And maybe they're turning a point in the season. I think they played an American League team, but again, we'll get to it when we get to it. Next up, we got the Boston Red Sox. Red Sox, they went 3-0 against Detroit at the beginning of the week, so maybe they're turning their season around. And then they went 1-2 against the red-hot Tampa Bay Rays. Could have gone 2-1, could have gone 1-2, could have gone either way. So, Red Sox maybe turning a point in the season. Who knows? If they are, then I'd love to see that. I like the Red Sox. Want them to do well. I know it sounds weird from an Orioles fan, but I actually do like the Red Sox. I don't hate them. I don't love them. They're okay, but I do like them this year. I thought they were going to be a very good team. Next up, we have the Cleveland Guardians. I don't know if you can see that. The Guardians. The Guardians, man. Just another week. I think the Guardians are one of those teams that just, you don't expect them to do good, but for some reason they go every year, they're just decent at least. The Guardians, they went 1-2 against the Twins. And I forget who they played first in the week. Might have been Milwaukee. Actually, it was not Milwaukee. It was a National League team, I'm pretty sure. Again, it'll come to me, but I always forget. But yeah. Next up, we have the Texas Rangers. So, they went 1-2 against the Cubs this weekend. And then at the beginning of the week, I'm pretty sure they played the Diamondbacks, or maybe that's upcoming. Yeah, so the Rangers, they might have played the A's. Did they play the A's? Yeah, I think it was the A's. Or it might have been the Royals, actually. I think they went 1-2 against the Royals. Yeah. Number 17, we got the Phillies. 2-1 against Colorado. 1-0 against Miami at the beginning of the week, who is actually next up, number 16. Phillies, though, I guess they're getting better. They're not. I knew that they weren't going to be in that huge slump for so long. But, yeah, the Phillies turning their season around with 2 series wins. And they beat Colorado. You should. And yeah, they beat the Phillies. Wait, that was earlier in the year. That was not the Phillies. It was might have been the Royals, actually. I don't know. Yeah. But the Marlins, they went 1-2 against Baltimore. 0-1 against Philadelphia at the beginning of the week. And they went 2-1 against Washington. Probably could interchange them. I might, but Yeah. Number 15, biggest faller of the week, I'm pretty sure. Detroit Tigers. I just looked. They did beat the Royals, so they were 1-2 against the Royals, but 0-3 against the Red Sox. And I jinxed it last week. The second I posted that video, Tarek Skubal was out for like 3 months. And then they went 0-5 in the next five games. I'm sorry, Tigers, but they're probably still gonna win the Central, I think. I mean, any team could win that division. Even the White Sox, Twins, who are in last place, can win it. Any team could. I have the Central in the bottom half of the league almost. Number 14 team luckily ended their bleeding against the Mets, winning the series. But yeah, I'm just going to rearrange these guys. But yeah, the Diamondbacks, nothing special this week. Next week, they have the Rangers and I think the Rockies or the Dodgers. I'm not sure. But yeah, tough week for the Diamondbacks, but I'll take back. Oh, they went 1-2 against the Pirates, I'm pretty sure, at the beginning of the week. Next, we got the Blue Jays. And they went 2-1 against the Angels over the weekend. And then at the beginning of the week, they went 0-3 against the Rays. They play the Rays again tomorrow in the 3-game series. So hopefully maybe they will get swept again. It did in Toronto this time, so maybe they won't. Next, my God, this team, man, the Seattle Mariners. Oh, Mariners. They're the most impossible team to figure out what they're doing. Because they lose a series against the White Sox, and then at the beginning of the week win a series over the Braves. This team, man, like, the first series loss for the Braves comes against the Mariners, and then they lose to the White Sox. This is the part that just pisses me off. Then watch, they'll go ahead and lose the series to the Astros. Watch them go on like a 30-game winning streak and then lose to like the Rockies or someone. Or the Mets. They always lose to the bad teams. Every year they lose at least 2 games to the worst team in the league. Well, actually, last year they didn't lose to the Rockies. They did lose to the White Sox in the series, though. They always lose to the White Sox every year. That's where the White Sox always get them. Next, we got the number 11, the A's. A's 2-1 against the Orioles. And forget who else they played. But they won it. I'm like sure. I think they played the Rangers. I think it was the Rangers. Might have been the Twins. I forget. The Rays. The Reds are number 10. Jeez, I can't figure it out. 0-4 against the Cubs. A lot of those were one-run games. I don't really take into consideration that. 3 of them were walk-offs by the Cubs, or 2 of them were, I think. So the Reds, and then they lost 10-0 to Houston the first game. Did rebound, win the next 2. They ended their 8-9 game losing streak or whatever it was. They've been not very good lately. Next, Pittsburgh Pirates. 2-1 against the Arizona Diamondbacks. And then they went 1-2 against the Giants. Oh, not a great week for the Pirates against 2 teams you should be beating if you need to be beating if you want to make the playoffs. Pirates only split. Next, we got the Dodgers at number 8. They might actually be the biggest faller of the week. They went 2-1 against Houston. Yes, they destroyed Houston, but they lost the game. And then they lost the series to the Braves. And they got hammered in that series. That was not close. The first game was close. That was the only one they won. They got hammered the rest of the games. Number 7, I might have them a bit high. Actually, this is probably the right spot for the Milwaukee Brewers. The logo's faded, but you know why I have them at number 7. And almost in the top row is because they swept the New York Yankees. We don't need to talk about the other series, but because they split the series with number 6 in the St. Louis Cardinals, who had 1-1 against Brewers and then 2-2 against San Diego. Yeah, but both these teams, I think, are evenly matched. And number 5 is also another team. The Padres, they split with the Cardinals. At the beginning of the week, they did go 2-1 against the Giants, so that was why I had the upper hand on them over the Cardinals. If the Cardinals would have won the series, or vice versa, the Padres, I would have had them over. Whoever would have won that series, I would have had them over, but since they split, I just went to who won their first series, and the Padres did over the Cardinals. The Cardinals split, the Padres won, so that's why. Next up, the New York Yankees. 1-0 against the Orioles. 0-3 against Milwaukee. Yes, so that's not been great for the Yankees, which I'm happy about. I hate the Yankees. Thank God it's been rough for them. I hate them so much. But yeah. Yankees, not great. Number 3, it's been nothing but great for the Chicago Cubs. 4-0 against Cincinnati. And then 2-1 against Texas. Finally losing a game. But I still don't think they're the best team in the league. We'll see with them in Atlanta this week. Whoever wins that series will be the number 1 team, most likely, except if number 2, the Rays, decide to be the best team in baseball. 3-0 against the Blue Jays. Just absolute domination in that series. And then the Rays went 2-1 against the Red Sox, so 5-1. And then they have the Blue Jays this week. And the Orioles. Yeah. No, not the Orioles. They just played them. Might be the Yankees. I don't know. I forget. And then number 1, I'm still going to put them here. They did play 2 teams that almost faced off in the World Series last year. I thought it would be vice versa. I thought they'd beat Seattle 2-1 and lose to the Dodgers. But no, it was 1-2 against Seattle, 2-1 against the Dodgers, hammering the Dodgers. Mariners series could have gone either way, not taking that into consideration. They beat the Cubs. They're still going to be number 1 unless the Rays decide to sweep the Jays again or sweep whoever they play again. Yeah, the Rays are the surprise, but Braves, number 1 for 2 consecutive weeks. And the Tigers and Dodgers, biggest fallers of the week. The biggest risers were the Rays, and it might be the Phillies, I think. So, Rays, Phillies, biggest risers, biggest fallers are the Dodgers and the Tigers. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like that video, hit that like button, hit the sub button. We're trying to hit 350. I know that's a big goal, but 350 subs, with the way we're growing, we could get there easily by the end of May. And I'll see you next time. Peace.